What's up, travellers? Welcome back to the channel. SJ Aviation HQ coming with another video for you guys today. Today we have the model review of the Azul Brazilian Airlines Airbus A350-900 released by NG Models. Before we go any further into the video though, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up to show your support moving forward in today's video and of course the future of this channel. And of course, if you like the content of model plane reviews, unboxings, airport updates and other great stuff involved in the hobby of model collecting, go ahead and subscribe to the channel by clicking the subscribe button below. And of course, ding that bell icon to be notified when videos go live out on the channel. I have a great bunch of videos coming out very soon. More model reviews and an airport update coming out very soon. And of course, more unboxings of model aircraft as well. I'm thinking about starting up the Infinite Flight ventures as well, but you know, it's in the process of thinking at the moment. So today, the model review of the Azul Brazilian Airlines. I will put when this aircraft was released in the bottom left corner right about now. Can't really remember off the top of my head. It has been a long time since I have done a model review for you guys. I do realise that I have been lacking of late in terms of content on this channel, so I thought it was about time that I put a video out for you guys. Hopefully you stick around and enjoy today's video. Subscribe, ding that bell icon, and of course give this video a thumbs up to show your support. So moving on, before we go ahead and check out the box, you can see in front of you the fantastic NG Models box art of this aircraft. I'm going to read out some information about Azul as an airline, and then some brief information about this particular airframe. So founded on May the 5th, 2008, Azul Brazilian Airlines, or simply known as Azul, is a Brazilian carrier based in Sao Paulo, Brazil. The airline began services out of its main hub in Campinas International Airport on December the 15th, 2008. According to planespotters.net, Azul Brazilian Airlines has an aircraft fleet consisting of 170 aircraft, including 2 Airbus A350-900s with an average age of 5.8 years. The company was named Azul, meaning the word blue in Portuguese, after a number of suggestions were given during a naming contest prior to the airline's launch in 2008. The word or name Samba was also another popular name in that contest. So that's some factoid for you guys. Azul was named after the word blue, translating into Portuguese from English, after a naming contest. So that's pretty cool. So going into some information about this aircraft now. The MSN number of this particular aircraft is 124. This aircraft is an Airbus A350-900, 41 being the designated code from Airbus for aircraft that are built and equipped with Rolls-Royce engines. So that's basically the A380s, the A330neos, etc. like that. So that's some information for you guys. This aircraft performed its first flight on August the 10th, 2017. As of today, this aircraft is 6.3 years old. This aircraft wore the test registration of Foxtrot Whiskey Zulu Golf Echo. It was built and produced in Toulouse, France. Of course, that's the main factory for Airbus where they build the aircraft. Of course, they do have the plant in Hamburg, Germany, but that's mainly for their narrow bodies. The Airbus A350s and 330neos are basically or mainly built in Toulouse as well. And of course, a fun fact for you guys, don't know if you know this, but ATR also have their manufacturing plant in Toulouse as well. So Airbus and ATR share the facility in Toulouse. So that's a factoid for you guys if you didn't know that. And this airframe is currently active on the operating network for Azul Brazilian Airlines. So the registration of the aircraft we're looking at today, as stated on the box in front of you, is Papa Romeo Alpha Oscar Whiskey, or PR-AOW, for those that aren't too familiar with the phonetic alphabet. Again, this aircraft is an A350-900 and 941 variant. This aircraft was delivered to Azul Brazilian Airlines on December the 22nd, 2022. This aircraft is equipped with 2 Rolls-Royce Trent XWB-84 engines. This aircraft is nicknamed, if I can pronounce this correctly, Ondios Sonos Vom. I'm not sure if I pronounced that correctly. So if you're Portuguese watching this, I am so apologetic for butchering your language. But ultimately, it translates into English, saying "where dreams fly." So again, I do apologise for butchering your language. Of course, English is my main language. So this aircraft was initially not taken up by Hong Kong Airlines. No, okay, it was not taken up by Azul originally. In 2017, it flew with Hong Kong Airlines as Bravo Lima Golf Alpha or B LGA between August the 31st, 2017 and December the 8th, 2019 before it was then delivered to Azul, who originally ordered this particular airframe. Don't know if any of you guys know, but Azul recently announced the retirement plans of the A350 fleet. That, of course, is this one, and of course Alpha Oscar Yankee, the other one that's in their fleet. What I've heard, I'm just the messenger here, but what I've heard is that they're phasing out the fleet by October of 2024. So it is quite a shame that this aircraft was released within that time. Of course, it is going to be staying in my collection up until the time it is retired. Not too sure when or if I'm going to sell the aircraft model. I think it's one of those models that might end up staying in my collection anyway, because it is quite an outstanding model. I mean, NG models do the A350s very, very well. If you haven't seen the model review I did of the Japan Airlines One World livery on the A350 by NG models, go ahead and check it out in the top right corner right about now. But without further ado, let's go ahead and check out this absolutely stunning box art. So as you can see on the box, at the top of the box we have the Airbus A350-900 titles in the Airbus font. Very, very beautiful indeed. In the middle of the box you can see the 2D rendering of this aircraft. Unpopular opinion here, I really prefer the A350 in this livery over the A330neo. For some reason of late I have become a fan of the A330neo, but I do love this livery on the A350. If you haven't seen the model review I did of the Azul A330neo by Phoenix Models, go ahead and check it out, top right corner right about now. Here at the bottom left corner we have the Azul logo with the stylized map of Brazil there, and the registration Papa Romeo Alpha Oscar Whiskey. On this side, the right hand corner, we have the NG Models logo in the centre of the screen there, and at the bottom we have the 1/20 scale collectibles model die-cast metal text there. On the bottom panel we have the A350-900 titles on the top there, NG Models logo, the 2D rendering of this aircraft and the registration below that. And here is the barcode with the item number on it, 39043. On this side, A350-900 titles there, NG Models logo and the Azul logo there. On this side, it's pretty much identical to the other side, but the A350 text is in gold, and the NG Models logo is in like a teal blue colour. And then there's the aircraft again with the registration. And this side is identical to the opposite side. On the back panel, we have the NG Models logo on the top left corner. Then we have the 2D rendering of this beautiful Azul A350. Very, very beautiful indeed, isn't it? And then here we have the social handles for NG Models. We've got the Facebook page, Instagram handle, and the website. Go check them out if you haven't done so already. And then we have the barcode there, the warning information for this aircraft, and then of course made in China. NG Models is based in China. I believe they're based in like the Guangzhou region of China. But of course you can see the absolutely fantastic box art. Of course the box art is representing the logo there. They did a fantastic job. of of the box art here. NG models are quite known for their box arts, to be honest. They do a fantastic job. Phoenix models back in the day were known for their box arts too, but they have gone quite basic in terms of their box arts. Gemini Jets is known for their blue box arts. They do have the odd different one that is for their licensed models: Emirates, Southwest Airlines, Hawaiian Airlines, Qantas, Lufthansa, just to name a few. But of course, that concludes the first part of this video, going through the airline's information, the aircraft, and of course showing you the fun and fantastic box. Let's go ahead and check out the model. And here is the absolutely stunning Azul Brazilian Airlines NG models A350-900. Of course, as I just mentioned, made by NG models. As you can see, it is an absolute pearler of an aircraft. When I unboxed this a couple of months ago, I believe I actually included it in a recent unboxing that I did on the channel. Go ahead and check it out in the top right corner if I did so. But let's go ahead, dive in straight into the model review of this aircraft. Of course, in this portion of this video, I'm going to showcase the model up close to the camera. Try my best to cut out any of the unfocusing of the model. Of course, I do struggle with the focusing with this phone. But let's go ahead, dive in straight into the model review. So picking up the model first and foremost, here we have an up close view of this front portion of the model. As you can see, they do a fantastic job with the curvature of the nose. Of course, the A350 it's one of those aircrafts that look quite nice from different angles, but of course if you turn the model around, you can see it does look quite weird when you see it from the ground view, of course. But of course, in the front portion of the aircraft here, just in the middle of the shot, you can see the nose cone there, outlined by a very thin line. Underneath that is a component called the weather radar. Now, the weather radar has the purpose to detect storms along the flight path and to give the pilots a visual indication of rainfall intensity and the possibility of turbulence ahead of them. This enables the crew to navigate around any potential hazardous areas along the flight path that they've assigned for their flight. So that's some information there. Above that are some sensors for the aircraft. On the side here, we can see the pitot tubes and the angle of attack there. The pitot tubes measure fluid flow velocity, and the angle of attack sensor, or the AOW sensor, offers a visual indication of the amount of lift the wings are generating at a given airspeed or angle of bank. Very nice indeed. Let's get the model around here. Just here in the middle of the shot, we can see the nickname of this aircraft that I completely butchered in the front portion of this video, or the beginning portion when I was reading out the aircraft information. Pretty much translates into English meaning "where dreams fly." Very cool indeed. In the middle of the L1 and cockpit windows there, we can see the Azul South American or Brazilian logo there. And of course, how could I forget, we have the raccoon mask around the cockpit windows there. The raccoon mask was introduced on the A350. It is now seen on the A330neos, some A320neos, and of course some A330 and 40 CO variants. So it's very cool to see that now on these aircraft. It's now seen on Air Canada's livery, and of course I think it's on the newer version of Riyadh Air's 787 livery. I actually preferred the first one, to be honest. But here on the, let's see if I can zoom in a little bit further. How's that? On the nose gear here, we can see the gear door there with Oscar Whiskey on it. That, of course, is the last two digits of the registration. Papa Romeo - Alpha Oscar Whiskey. Here in the middle of the shot we can see the L1 boarding door. That's one of the first two boarding doors on this aircraft, one of the main boarding doors of course. In the middle of the L1 and L2 boarding doors we can see the typeface of Azul in blue text. Of course Azul translates into Portuguese into English, my bad, meaning the word blue. Very cool. And of course here is the L2 boarding door, that of course is where the jetway or the air bridge will be connected to at the gate. Here we have the beacon light on the top of the aircraft, quite an essential piece on this aircraft. Not seen on their 787s for some reason. That's quite interesting. And of course there is the first antenna on this aircraft. There should be one on the bottom there as well. There it is. Very cool. In the middle of the shot there we can see the pedostatic system. Now that is used to determine the aircraft's airspeed, Mach number, altitude and altitude trend. Very cool indeed. Here we have the word Brazil in Portuguese. And of course there is the Brazilian flag. Very nice indeed. Here we have in the middle of the shot, if I can try and get it to focus better. There we go. Here we have the wing light near the fairing of the aircraft. Of course, the fairing, of course, is the connection of the fuselage to the wings, and of course the wing box you can see on this aircraft. Now, the requirement for the wing lights or the landing lights it is meant to be turned on below 10,000 feet, or within 0 and 10,000 feet. And also turned on whilst operating on the airport's runway, either landing or departing at the airport. Departing from the airport, I should say. Here is a look inside the Rolls-Royce Trent XWB-84 engines. The fan blades looking absolutely fantastic. I like how I say fantastic when I'm looking at the fan blades. Very cool indeed. Here is the blue nacelle of the engine, and of course flyazul.com being the website of Azul. Here is the look of the gears. As you can see, they do roll, they don't tilt. NG models aircraft don't have tilting landing gears, well, they don't anymore. There is the Brazilian flag, very cool, and the beacon light. We'll have a look at the bottom of the belly very soon. Well, we'll try my best. Here at the end of the wing here, we have the strobe lights there, the white strobe lights. A good way to identify whether an aircraft is, if you're at an airport or you see an aircraft overhead, if the outer strobe lights are flashing once, it is a Boeing. If it is flashing twice at a time, it is an Airbus. So this aircraft here would flash twice, and you can see just on the outer edge of the strobe lights, just in the middle of the shot, you can just make out the red navigation light. And on the other wing, we'll see it is a green navigation light. Here is the exterior of the A350 Sharklet, looking cool indeed. And here is the interior of the Sharklet, with the Brazilian flag on it. Very cool indeed. So back to this side of the aircraft. Here is the L3 door, mainly used for emergencies more than anything else. So in the event of an emergency, this aircraft from this door and all of these doors, of course, an emergency evacuation slide would fold out, and the passengers on board the aircraft would evacuate via those slides. Very nice indeed. Here on the top of the aircraft's fuselage, we can see the SATCOM there. Very, very nice. Of course, that provides the IFE in-flight entertainment on board the aircraft. Behind each of the seats, there is another antenna on top of the aircraft, and there is another one just above the L4 boarding door. Of course, this is a boarding door via the apron of an airport. That, of course, if the aircraft is being boarded by buses. Very cool. Here is the aircraft's registration again. Papa Romeo - Alpha Oscar Whiskey. In front of that, to the left of the registration, is the Brazilian flag. And above both of them, in the middle of the shot there, you can just make out in very fine text the Airbus A350 titles there. Here is the tail fin of this aircraft. The navy blue empennage of the tail fin, and of course in the middle of the shot we can just make out the Brazilian map there in all of those squares and rectangles and whatnot. Very cool. At the outer edge of the rudder we can see the yellow and green stripes of the tail fin, and at the top of the tail fin we can see the in white Oscar Whiskey for the last 2 digits of the registration. In the middle of the shot, and of course on the other side in the middle of the shot, we can make out the logo lights or the tail lights. They are used to provide light onto the tail fin during night operations to give identification to the ATC about who the operator is of the aircraft. Of course, in this case it would be Azul Brazilian Airlines. Could also be used as a marketing tool for anyone around an airfield or within the terminals of the airports, to give like a marketing to give them the sense of wanting to fly the airline. Very cool. Let's have a brief look at the other side of the aircraft. There shouldn't be too many differences on this side. The only main differences are the fact that everything is flipped around, but of course here is the forward baggage compartment on this side, this end of the aircraft. At the rear of the aircraft, just there in the middle of the shot, is the rear baggage compartment. This here is where the rack would be, the ram air turbine used in the event of testing, or whether there is some sort of issue with the engines and they're wanting to provide more power to them. The ram air turbine would fall down. It's sort of like a propeller that is seen below the aircraft, and everything else is basically flipped around. Very cool. I do like this model a lot. As you can see, it is a fantastic model. NG Models did absolute justice with this model. Let's have a brief look at the bottom of the aircraft. I will do my best. It is a darkened coloured belly. But of course here is the nose gear doors there. Some fantastic details on the belly of the aircraft. As I mentioned, the flag of Brazil, the beacon light, the stand hole, the white outline of the landing gear doors. Of course, there's some air vents as well. There's the outline of where the ram air turbine would be. Some nice details along the wing here. That of course is Papa Romeo Dash, and on the other wing there is Alpha Oscar Whiskey. Nice details of the landing gear. Of course they do roll, as I mentioned. There is the underside of the Rolls-Royce Trent XWB-84 engines, and of course at the rear of the aircraft we have the entryway to the APU, otherwise known as the Auxiliary Power Unit. So this is an absolutely fantastic model. I would highly recommend getting it if you are wanting one. If you did miss out on this release, however, do remember that NG Models recently released their future releases. And I believe there is an Azul A350 in those future releases. I believe it is Alpha Oscar Whiskey. It has some extra decaling on the top part of the rear fuselage. So if you did miss out on this one, I definitely highly recommend getting the next one that will be released soon. So that is the model review of the Azul A350-900 by NG Models Papa Romeo - Alpha Oscar Whiskey. Highly recommend getting this model. It's an absolutely fantastic model. If you liked this model review and what you saw in today's video, go ahead and drop a thumbs up on this video. If you like the sort of content and you want to see some more on this channel, go ahead and subscribe, and of course ding that bell icon to be notified when videos go live on this channel. If you want to go ahead and support my social channels, go ahead and scan the QR code on the screen now to be led to my website, my Patreon page, my Instagram page, or pages, and of course there's other ones on there as well, the Twitter/X account as well. Go ahead and check them out. But if you want to be led straight to my Instagram page for Azul International Airport, go ahead and scan the QR code you can see on the screen now. And of course is where I showcase everything in terms of my model collection, my movements in and out of my airport. You can see in the background there the information about new services and other great stuff in terms of what's happening with the network as well. So yeah, go ahead and check them out if you wish to. If you don't, that's alright. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed today's video. Again, drop a like, subscribe, and turn on that bell icon for notifications for future videos. So if you want to see some more on this channel, go ahead, and soon enough will be on the left hand side, that is, will be my most recent video. On the right hand side will be the full playlist of model reviews I've done so far on this channel. In the middle is where you can subscribe. But until next time, guys, fly safe, stay safe, and I will see you guys in the next one.